Oh, was that Big G? There he is.
Somebody let me in.
Big G to the stage. It's a District 3 Sports Podcast. We're back. No live show, guys. How are you doing?
I was just in makeup. Sorry, guys. Makeup was a little behind today, and had to get the puffiness out of my eyes.
You got another pink eye going on?
Nah, we're good. We're good.
Somebody then tooted on his pillow again, just like in Salem.
Hey, need to thank Nanny's Kitchen. Nanny's Kitchen come through this morning with some coffee. And then Sarah and Presley, best cup ever, best pops
Wow.
ever. So we're good with that. And then Nanny made some chocolate chip cookies for the breakfast. So we rolling.
Man,
which one's you like that one? You like this setup?
I like the bigger one. I like that.
You like this one right here? Okay.
Yeah.
I like it too.
we're live for the first time in how long? I mean, it's
been a minute. I mean, I don't know, maybe our 1st of March. We're in Disney last week too, so that's kind of an issue too. So on vacation.
Devin, I asked if we could go live at Disney. He said yeah, and then he turned me down. He wouldn't let me go on. Thought we'd give a little brief statement from Disney. He wouldn't do it.
Devin, I think Devin should take the stage real quick. I think he has some announcement to make, maybe.
Man, so yeah, just found. I was actually trying to think of something funny to say there, and I couldn't think of anything. But in all real talk here, my wife will be my beautiful wife got accepted into residency down in Ocala, Florida. So me and Gregory over there are trading spots. So I'm not sure. I'm sure the quality of our sights and sounds videos, if some of those
oh wow, that a shot at me.
Wow, never get released by me. I'm sure they'll dip a little bit, but yeah, we'll be trading spots. So I'll be in Florida, Gregory will be up here in Roanoke. So yeah, I'm excited for the weather though. That's what I had to say about that.
Don't get on the front of the boat, Gregory. He shot right over top of it.
I don't know what that was about.
Get your resumes ready.
Yeah, I want to see. This is what I want to see now. I want to see if Devin is going to be able to make the podcast now. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, so that is the challenge now, right? Because I was in Florida for the past 2 years. So that's the standard.
I just feel bad. What are you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, Devin. Ocala is not in the Panhandle, so you're not an hour behind and you're not an hour ahead, right? Just want to make sure there's no difference in time.
Devin will take over all the editing, all the stuff you get to do in Florida. So I'll teach you how to do it.
There's some middle schooler, some high schooler who's just gonna totally get abused in terms of that's kind of weird to say. Somebody who's just gonna get put to work as an intern.
We just got knocked off the air.
Jeez Louise.
Somebody's just gonna get put to work here.
Yeah, that came out real.
Yeah, not good. I had to edit that out or something.
Or should we? So did we do one after the? Go ahead.
Off sports. No, we haven't done one since we named our top 12 basketball team.
We do one after the ODAC tournament.
Oh yeah, we did. I thought that was a combination though.
Yeah.
I sent a text to you guys. I didn't want to say it out loud. I just wanted to find out if it was right. If we were right on this first.
Let's see here. Yeah. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a fun year for basketball. I mean, I think we should just do a whole basketball preview real quick and then we can get to what we're here for today.
Can we start with a couple of other things real quick first?
Okay, what you got?
We dive into basketball. Our heartfelt condolences go out to Mark DeRosa and the USA baseball team.
Oh gosh,
wow. I mean, I can tell you this. This is my true feeling on this. I'm not saying that we didn't take it serious. That's not what I'm trying to say whatsoever. People, don't get upset. But you could tell that those other teams, such as the Dominican, such as Venezuela, they were playing for a country in my book. I mean, there was a lot of pride in those guys, and to me, it just meant more to them. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that those guys didn't play for the USA, but it was just so much more involvement. There was so much more emotion. And I'm not saying you got to come out there and be flamboyant and showboat and stuff like that, but it just seemed like they were more into it. And I don't know. It just seems like the cookie crumbled where it was supposed to crumble. That's all.
From what I've heard, like I'm starting to hear more and more, like just like some of the MLB teams have restrictions on certain players getting to play. I still don't think DeRosa is the right fit. I mean, he's made it to two titles, whatever, 2 championship games, whatever, but there's still a lot to be had there as far as his managing experience and just managing skills in general. But I heard a lot about like certain teams, like I forgot the closer, was it Miller, who's the closer or whatever? He couldn't come in there unless it was tied or they're in the lead. And so they couldn't put him in there or something like that. Just different things that they're hamstringed on. But yeah, I still like, it just seemed like, I don't know, it seemed like a lot of passion. Like you just saw coming off of NHL, the Olympics, and seeing Team USA win, having all that passion, it didn't seem the same at all. No,
and let me look, and I'm trying to decipher that. I'm glad you mentioned that scenario. So what's the difference in playing for your country in the Olympics, such as the USA hockey team, and playing in the World Baseball Classic, and worried so much about these injuries? And then I'll hit it with this. I'll call somebody out, and I don't care if you're in a contract year. I could care less. When you put the stars and stripes on, that's what your focus should be. So why did Skubal even have a place on the team? He should never have even entered the World Baseball Classic field. And it's just, in my book, I think it was selfish for a lot of reasons. And this is the reason why I say that. He pitched 4 innings, and basically he did give up a leadoff home run right off the get-go, which to me is fitting. But to me, he was an audition for nothing but a contract for next year. That's what it meant. That's what I saw it as. And his agent, which we all know is Scott Boras, is behind probably 99.9% of this thing. And this is the other part. Not only did he do that for 4 innings, but supposedly, from what I heard, and I have not verified this 100%, I heard he drove over from Lakeland to Miami to be in the dugout with a USA uniform on to watch the final game. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, he pitched like the second game of the World Baseball Classic. The funny part is he pitched that game. I think he pitched in a spring training game not too long after too. So I mean, it's like, I don't know. I think he walked in with like one of the hockey jerseys like the other guys did. So he was there for the ending, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
If you're gonna tear something, you tear something. You can tear something off the first pitch versus the 6th inning or whatever 5th inning. I mean, it just in my book. And tell me you haven't made enough money already in your lifetime that you can't survive. I'm sure he's got some kind of mega million insurance policy as well. I'm talking about all of them. I shouldn't just say Skubal, but anybody.
I think
the Bryce Harper home run, I thought that was going to bring us all back together, and that was going to do it. I was glad to see Bryce kind of flex up. I'm not a Bryce Harper fan. I'll be the first one to tell everybody. But I thought that meant a lot to everybody that, he come around at third base, saluted, and then pointed to that flag on his shoulder and flexed again. I thought that was good baseball drama.
I don't know how you don't start Pico Armstrong there in the final where he's been, or Gunnar Henderson. I mean, I don't know what happened to that lineup for the championship game while you're bringing in some guys who haven't produced at all in the Classic. But again, it's just DeRosa.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, I'm sorry, you got 2 catchers. What happened to Cal Raleigh?
Yeah.
I didn't see him for the, I don't know, maybe the last 2 or 3 games. I can't remember. I know he didn't play the last 2 games. So I'm just kind of shocked at that as well. I thought he well, I'm not saying he did an absolute horrible job, but he did pull one of the biggest gaffes of the season already by not knowing the breakdown on a 3-way tie and stuff like that. So I mean, that's something that every manager should know, or every player should know, or every fan should know, for that matter.
What else did you have in the tank for?
Okay, my last thing. Thought I ought to send a message down to Chapel Hill today.
There we go.
Yeah, last thing. I mean, I'm not going to get too boisterous about it. Devin, you're a Carolina grad. If you cannot see that there is a disconnect between that program and that coach now, then there's an issue. And, you know, I would have thought, even if you lose, why are you so adamant about certain things in the press conference the other night? I mean, he put on a press conference that should be embarrassing to the university in my book. I mean, no, he didn't cuss, rant, and rave, but it was all about Hubert and his decisions. And I don't think that's right. I mean, hey, why did you use a 6-man rotation all of a sudden for the first time this year or whatever? And then it's like, that's my decision. Okay. Yeah. We know that. I mean, but why choose this game? I mean, they really were wore out. And then this is the other thing I'll say. Why is our only 7-footer in the game on the perimeter for 99% of the handles basically every time down court? I mean, it just bothers me. And he did hit a 3-pointer with 9 minutes and 34 seconds left to go in the game to put him up 15. But not one time down that stretch did you try to get a bucket down low.
And they were playing some of their best basketball I have seen them play all year when they took that 19-point lead, and then it just became a masterclass of how to throw a basketball game. I mean, I don't know how you can even defend Hubert at this point based on what we saw. And it's literally been, Tyler Hansbrough said it best. He wasn't surprised at all to see this. I mean, this is what we're accustomed to seeing. I mean, you saw it against Syracuse earlier this year. They had like a 30-point lead and wound up winning by like 5 or 6 or whatever it was. It's just, and then to just make things worse, that was one of the worst, and Gregory said it too, one of the worst press conferences I think I've ever seen in my life. I mean, because I said so, or because I felt like it, whatever he was, the craziest thing. And it seems like at this point, I think once you have the media against you, like even like these Tar Heel homers, once you have them, not on your side, at that point, it's only a matter of time. And this feels just like when, it kind of feels like when Billy Napier was getting to the end there, or when it kind of feels like when Larry Fedora was getting to the end, where basically it's just like, he's just not saying the right things anymore. And at this time, people are tired of it. And I think he can sense it too, that people are tired of it. So I think you're getting media and head coach clashing heads there. And I think it's only a matter of time, but we'll see. He's always got the Caleb Wilson, excuse there. So we'll see.
Well, I told y'all the other night that I'm not going to allow him to use that, because he had a 19-point lead without Caleb Wilson the other night, and they lost. And the coach at X's and O's, why you don't see a lead slipping away, or how you don't see a lead slipping away and you don't call timeouts. And dude, I would have used all 4 or 5 of my timeouts just to keep this thing in check. And then if they keep doing what they're doing, hey, they're just better than we are. That's all I can say. But let me add insult to injury right here. And I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, but I was listening to Mike Jaminski and Russo on Mad Dog Sports yesterday. I want y'all to think about this. Who, since Carolina always goes for that Carolina hire, who's out there? So here's the name that popped up yesterday, only because he's had head coaching experience, because there's nobody else out there. And it's your little guy, Wes Miller, who just got fired at Cincinnati. So,
yeah,
where do you turn?
You got to go away from the tree at this point, or the Carolina family, as they want to call it.
And so the other thing was this: they were talking about, they may not want to get rid of Hubert this year because his buyout is 5.3 million, I think it is. Well, and they want to compare it to the Smith Center renovations as well as building this new building. What's 5.3 million added on to either 670 or 777 million dollars for Carolina? I mean, what is the difference? I mean, come on, please. That's should not even factor into this. And I do like what Gregory mentioned the other day. I'll take, in this day and age, I'll take a John Calipari right now.
I don't know if I would agree with that, but
well, and the reason why I say it is, who else better to handle the NIL, and who's, might as well say it, probably been playing a lot of players along the way for many years and is way ahead of the NIL curve. So that's the reason why I say it.
All right.
Ready for some high school basketball?
Get into it.
All right. I first want to give a shout out to our state tournament teams this year. So the teams that we kind of covered and watched over. So Graham, Coach Baker there, they won a state championship just last weekend over Central Woodstock there. Fort Chiswell, Coach Jackson, we just had a conversation with him and Owen. We'll have that out either Monday or Tuesday. So shout out to them. Lost in the state championship for Class 1 just by 2 points in double overtime. A heartbreaker there to Luray. LCA and Coach Klein, state semifinalist there against, was it Lake Taylor? Gosh, we'll talk more about it later, but, Coach Klein, the job he did at LCA from beginning to end, classic there. Coach Best and EC Glass, state quarterfinalist. I'm sure they wish their season could have gone further, but, they did go undefeated in regular season. Lost to the state champion and lost to the state semifinalist too. So 2 losses, can't really hang your head on that. Coach Watson there at Nelson County, state quarterfinalist again. Gosh, he's getting them back to the Thomas Brown days there at Nelson County. All right, you're just competing in states constantly. I'm gonna screw this up. Self, or is it Selfie? PH Clay Spring. Now again, back to the state tournament. I always mess up. We talked to him. I can always mess his name up. But
I think
anyways, they're back. Was it Selfie?
I thought it was Self.
I thought. See, that's what I'm saying. It's the E that gets me. But anyways,
just spell it.
Back in the state tournament as well. State semifinals there. We covered them last year, and just a lot of great kids there. Perry McClure, Coach Kerr. They've been on the rise to state quarterfinals as well. Christiansburg, Coach Cox. They made it to state quarterfinalists. Played Hidden Valley there for region championship. And then, of course, Coach Hutchins there at Hidden Valley State quarterfinalists as well. So just lots of great teams, lots of great coaches, lots of great talent in the area. So just want to congratulate them on a very good season.
Before we move on to any further, I think Class 2, anybody can say whatever they want to about, the competition, blah, blah, blah. That Class 2 is brutal. I mean, that's a brutal class. You looked at Martinsville, Dan River, Nelson, Graham. I mean, it can go on and on. And what a brutal class that was. And, not to throw shade at any of those teams I just mentioned, but how about John Marshall moving on to other things so that they could allow for a new state champion? So that really helped out in that class and kind of made it a better class this year.
Did have anything you want to say
division,
about
what is it?
What's that? Oh, Division 3.
Is it division?
Oh, now it's
Division
3
2. Or 2?
Yeah, they're
okay.
I'm sorry. You gotta say
class. I want to make sure VHSL. My fault.
Yeah,
I'll make sure that VHSL was happy. Okay, my fault.
I do want to give a shout out.
2.
I mean, we just being in Florida, I'm sure you guys have just a lot of them as well. But Tyler Talking Sports, Mountain Mojo Sports, Fresh Off the Clock, the Sixth Man, Denver Sports really helped us out. Kind of following the sport. We can't be there and whatnot. So thank you for all those guys.
Nana, you want to speak real quick? You want to say anything? You want to say anything real quick before you leave?
Yeah,
the sports world. She just shook her head and said no. She's gone. She's out.
Yeah, I mean, any thoughts on the season as a whole, Devin or Bob? We did our Super 12 all year for as teams goes. I don't know. I mean, you got teams like Fort Chiswell is a great example.
Beautiful job, Swim team.
Now she's giving me a hard time because the other night, let me go ahead before we say anything. Did anybody watch Miami of Ohio play? Who was they playing?
SMU.
It does SMU. Did anybody happen to catch when SMU went to the line one time?
Oh, the guys, the Speedos.
I mean, it wasn't one; it was the whole section back there. And I said, "That is beautiful." I thought that was well planned out and beautiful. And then Nanny just
Who's on there?
Gregory and Devin, we're live.
Oh, that's okay.
She got on me for saying that. Anyway, I thought it was beautiful. Anyway, I'm sorry. What a wonderful, it was a big season. I thought a lot of factors came into play this year, and I thought a lot of teams handled it well. Our weather was absolutely atrocious for roughly a month, and you know, you had teams playing 3, 4, 5 times a week, so I thought they handled it real well.
Yeah, no, I think it was a fun season, man. I think at the beginning, I can't speak for everybody else, but I was like, I don't know if the talent, it seemed like it could have been down, but then you see Hidden Valley comes out of nowhere. Obviously, LCA didn't have a hot start out the gates, but I mean, they came back, had a great season. Glass with a historic season. You know, they were the last remaining undefeated team in the state at one point. You know, and then you see teams like the 1A teams or the Class 1 teams like PH and Perry McClure and Fort Chiswell. See all those teams, you know, rise from the ashes a little bit. But also Martinsville, Gary Hall in his first year. I mean, they had a great season. Honestly, thought they could have gone a lot further, but no, it was a great year. Which class would y'all say had the most entertaining season for y'all?
I think Class 2, without a doubt, for me. I think Class 2, like there's so many good teams this year. Like you had Nelson County who have, you know, several good players that they go out in state quarters, and they could have just, there's other teams that just had more talent or whatever it was. Like it was just a crazy year for Class 2. And like, you know, Pop said earlier, like thankfully, I don't know how the situation was there at John Marshall, but they weren't a factor. And some of these other teams who had teams for years who couldn't win one finally got a chance to do that. So yeah, I think Class 2, I think they had the most depth this year, I felt like.
Yeah. Closely followed by 3 and 4, I believe.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about this and John Marshall, how did that Petersburg team do? What did they wind up doing?
They won it. They won it all. They
what class is that? 3?
Yeah, Class 3. They played Lake Taylor, was it region championship? Had a closer game, and they pulled away from them in the state championship. So
actually, I had no clue that Latrell Allman had played. For some reason, I thought he was at Petersburg last year. I had no clue he was at John Marshall last year and then transferred to Petersburg. So I don't know about that.
Is that John Marshall 2.0?
I think it's got to be, you know.
plus King Baycott.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm gonna pull for Petersburg just because I want him to go to UNC.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're not sanctioned or anything like that. I mean, you saw like what Brookville and those and those players who I don't know the situation, so I can't really say like what John Marshall Petersburg.
They don't recruit, you know that.
But I don't know. Like I don't know the whole situations. But Brookville, they had kids who got disciplined last year. I don't know. I don't know the situation. I don't know what BHL rules are. So what they're doing, they're playing by the rule book. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that one. So, but yeah, I guess while we're here, I'm gonna show this list. So that's what we put out yesterday. Can you guys see this? Okay, I'm gonna make it bigger.
Yep.
I'll pick y'all off. How about that? All right, so we actually I'm gonna move the banner too because we can see some names down there. There we go. All right, so this is what we put out yesterday, the Super 12 nominees. Obviously, I just want to go ahead and say, obviously there would be a lot more players on here, right? I have 32 players on here. I could put up to 100 if I wanted to, if we wanted to, really, right? There's just so much good talent out there, all of Central, Southwest Virginia. So yes, there's some kids who aren't on here. Not saying they're not great, not saying they're not good. Nothing bad about them. We can't put every kid on here. I will say this though, I am working on a database where I will put all those kids out, mostly seniors, and kind of send it out to the coaches we talk to as far as D3 and D2. And see if we can get some of these kids, some recognition. I had some people reach out yesterday who weren't on this list, like, hey, what can we do to get on the list? What can we do to, can you help us out? So I've heard from those people too. So there's a lot of kids, like I said, they weren't on here, but these are 32 kids here. Mostly kids. I went with teams that we've talked to in the past or had some kind of history with in the past. To kind of narrow it down a little bit. So that's why this is the list. So again, we're excluding anybody on purpose, something like that. But you see teams here like I saw Bubby and Insbanger there at Allegheny in the Christmas tournament, Campbell, Salem. We've talked to Coach Watson and Colton there at Nelson County. We talked to Floyd County before. So a lot of teams we have familiarity with. So I try to narrow it down to that way too.
Well, and the other thing I was going to mention is if anybody were to bring it to our attention that somebody we didn't have or don't have on here, that there's always next year we can give them a look and give them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Nomination, more nominations for stuff.
I mean, all these kids are great. I mean, they're all district, all region. There's some state kids, first team and second team all state. So there's gonna be kids that probably should have been, in the Super 12. I think when you go to our Super 12, you could possibly make a rebuttal that you can find 12 other kids for your top Super 12 and be just as good as what we come up with. So we're not excluding anybody on purpose like that. We just think that there's several factors. I think we kind of did player stats, right? How much they were, how much of a factor they were in the game, how far did their team go, who did they play? It's a lot of different aspects there, and it's all subjective, right? So like I said, you can come up with a different Super 12 than what we did and be just as good. So I just want to get that out there. Say that as well.
I don't know about y'all, but I thought basketball was tougher than football as far as coming up with.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought it was. It was so much harder for whatever reason.
Yeah, and this
a lot of talent.
Is not just one class, right? We're not just taking all class 2 and putting them in the same list. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So like this is tough. So we're combining all of the different ones. So I think if I hit
should I do our honorable mention now?
You want to some kids we didn't mention or don't have? Oh, we can do it afterwards.
Do honorable mention. I thought we'd lead up to the ones that we.
Oh, you want to mention some talent there.
So this would be our honorable mention list. These are the people that did not make the Super 12 plus the Player of the Year. Right? Is that how we want to let it be named?
Yeah.
And listen, like Gregory said, this was so hard. And I mean, we're gonna have kids right here with some numbers and some double doubles that just played their hearts out this year. And luckily enough, a couple of these kids have have another year or maybe 2 to get back into it and maybe make our Super 12. Let's just start at the top. Jamarian Davis, Dan River High School, honorable mention, 17-1, 12-2, 1.5 assists per game. How about this one? Big time name, Rayshawn Logan from Gretna. 16 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists a game. This is another tough one, and I know we talked about this all year. And hey, they played for a really good team, a really good coach. Jay Bryant, honorable mention, 12.8, 8.3. I mean, that's the heart and soul at LCA pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we have him on here too. Like he's a super great talent. I think a lot of these kids, like I said, like maybe a case for Jay. He plays on a really good team. He has really great players around him. So maybe those stats aren't all the way there. But the kids, he's definitely a great player. There's nothing against him at all.
Well, let's go up the road here a little bit from Danville. Gary Hall in Martinsville. Zay Tinsley, 17-7 and 5-6.
Yes.
Amari Foster, 15-8 and 4-7. And I think I'm saying this right. Emari Tinsley, 15-7 and 5-9. I mean, wow, what a team he had. Up the road just a hair from Martinsville, Noah Farley. Was he on our team last year?
He was.
Yeah. 14, 3.8. I mean, that's how tough this thing was. Down the road down at Glade Springs, Jeb Stewart, 16-4 and 3-0. Over at Coach Gruce, who always looks 10 pounds bigger on camera than he always does, 12.160 for Ashton Cornett. I hope I don't butcher this name. Is it Corell Jeffries at Dan River? 12.5, 4.5. His teammate, Zaire Smith, 13.8 and 4.5. Another teammate, Jamar Edmonds, 10.5 and 4.0. How about this name? This was a tough one. Tough one. Garrett Overbay, Christiansburg,
Man.
15.6 and 10.1. Come on. Another tough one. We interviewed this kid, Wyatt Clark at Hidden Valley, Kamari Stillman at William Fleming, Darian Williams at Patrick Henry, Roanoke, and then Trey Smith also at LCA. Good Lord. Look at all that talent.
Yeah.
That's just not on our list too. Like I said, you can take those 12 players from those from that list, and you can make it just as good as a list as it. But we took Central Virginia, Southwest Virginia. We did some small. Oh, you got some more?
Well, no. What I was going to do was I wanted to mention something else. We even put together a coaching staff for our Super 12, and I just wanted to mention some of the coaches out there that didn't make our assistant bench coach and our coach of the year. Let's look at some of this talent as well. How about Brian Harmon at Floyd County? Midway through the year, they're 4-4 in the conference, and he gets that team to 8-4 in the conference, a number 78 standing in the state of Virginia, and finishes up 21-5. What did they go? Regional finals, or did they actually make the state?
They made state.
Okay, so state. All right. Gruce had a little bit of a tough year, does 15-9. Hey, he still got a heck of a team up there, and look out for them in the future. Here's a good one. Local talent, 3 miles from my house, Ben Elliott at Dan River High School. They finished at 17-5, 9-3 in the conference. They won 14 straight games at one point in time this year. So heck of a job by Ben Elliott. How about Gary Hall in his first year?
Yeah.
19-5, 13-1 in the conference. My goodness, hey. And we all thought that he had a shot at it. So I look for big things with his team next year. I got to give a big shout out to DeMarcus Morrison. Listen, those guys finished 19-7 and 9-1. But the big picture here is they were 5-6 after game 11. And so he goes on a 14-1 run there to finish out the year. Our guy that we talked to up at Hidden Valley, Brad Hutchins, 21-5, 9-3, number 66 in Virginia. In my opinion, Hidden Valley came out of the woodworks. I don't know where they even come from, but they solidified themselves in my book. Kevin Garst, what can you say about Kevin? He does a fantastic job every year. They're always, always, always in the hunt. And then our guy from last year, it's hard not to have him on this top 3, but our coach of the year last year was, and I'm going to butcher this too, Teron Watson, but at Nelson County. Those guys finished 22-4, make it to state quarters. He finishes 14-0 in the conference and number 88 in Virginia. That's a list in itself that, eight teams at an average of 20 wins, 160 wins among all of them, and maybe 5 average at losses. So 160 and 100. You can't beat that, man.
Yeah, that's why I said this is like this was a fun task.
40. I meant 40 losses. Sorry, 120. That's a great 160 and 40. That'd be an average coach for the.
It's tough. There's so much great talent. I think at the beginning of the season we said something like, hey, maybe basketball's a little down around Central and Southwest Virginia, but it came on strong towards the end of there, and it's like now you're seeing all these just different athletes and coaches. Like, who in the heck did we put on this list, man? This is gonna be tough. So it was a difficult job. It was fun and then torture at the same time. So that's the best way I can put it. Yeah, should we get to our Super 12 here then?
Yes.
Do it.
All right, here we go. So add to the stage here. Our first one, we're going alphabetical here. Okay. First one here, Mr. Gavin Arthur there at EC Glass, a senior forward, 6'3", 20.1 points per game, 5 rebounds a game, and 3.5 assists per game there for EC Glass. Like I said, they made it to the state tournament, plays for DJ Best. I think to average 20.1 points per game in a DJ Best
system,
in his system, you're doing something right. And then if you get the green light to shoot the ball in his system, you're doing something right.
And I want to precede this. I should have said it before we put Gavin up. In my opinion, the next 13 guys could have all been the player of the year for us.
Yes.
So I just want to make that perfectly clear. We have gone back and forth on this for the last 3, 4, 5 days. It's been tough. So just want to make sure everybody knows that.
And we talked about Gavin possibly being player of the year too. He was definitely up there. So yeah, like I said, all these kids could have been player of the year. So Gavin, Arthur, there. Go ahead, Evan.
I'll take this too. I mean, went to several games this year in the area. The best performance that I saw in person, and I even went to see freaking Albemarle and
trading places.
I mean, I even went to see Albemarle and Western Albemarle, two of the best teams in the state of Virginia. And watching Gavin Arthur against LCA back in December or January was by far the best performance I had seen of any player this season. I mean, he was absolutely unconscious. And I think, he didn't get player of the year, but I think he was definitely a close second in my book.
Yeah. Like I said, like to be in Coach Best, his system, to do what he did, very rewarding. So Gavin Arthur there at EC Glass. All right, our next guy here, Campbell's. I'll say Salem senior forward, 6'5". I saw him play against GW there in the region quarters. The kid was a monster. He was tough to stop. I mean, he was scoring at will there in the first half. I think that his numbers actually could be a lot better, but he's playing along, Patty Foot and Braylon Smith too. Kid, I think he's a really good player. But he's still averaging 16.5, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. If you go to watch him play, this kid is all over the place. He is a baller. And Roanoke College is getting a good one next year for them.
Roanoke College is getting a steal next year. And, Clay Nunley, his system is a little bit more open around there, and he's gonna have a lot of shot opportunities there. He really will.
Yeah. And Cam was also, back to back. River Ridge District Player of the Year. I mean, and that's a crazy conference to go back to back with that. And so good for Cam Bowles. Great kid too.
Yeah. He said that he likes, what's his special? The 2 hot dogs there at the Sheets after the game.
Yeah.
So Cam Bowles there, Salem, very rewarding. A kick and play. So a senior there. All right. Cade Kaywood. So some of you might not be familiar with Cade. This is Patrick Henry Gully Spring down there in the corner of Southwest Virginia. He's a senior forward, 6'4", 25.5 points per game, 9.8 rebounds a game, and 3.8 assists per game. We had his brother on last year. He is Cole Kaywood, who is now at UVA Wise. This is a 2-headed monster last year for these two kids, but Cade steps up this year. Devin, talk about what was it, a playoff or state quarters? I don't know what game it was, but he had 61 of 63 or 64 points in the first half.
1 points at halftime. I mean, it's crazy. And you can talk about the talent a little bit there that he was facing, but the numbers are just undeniable. I mean, what he was doing for PH this year.
But add this cake.
That's Coach Selfie right there, right?
Yep.
Congratulations.
Yeah, they're made the state tournament again. They did it last year, got it back this year, lost to a tough, I think, Fort Chiswell team there who played for the state championship. But yeah, 24-4 state semifinalist there, Cade Kaywood out of PH Glade Spring. You can see his numbers there. So far, 1, 2, and 3. I mean, yeah, you might not be too familiar with the Class 1 there in Southwest Virginia, but I think this kid is very deserving. Never seen him play. Go watch him play, or just see some highlights. All right, our next one, another small school there, Perry McClure, the junior guard, 6 foot, Langston Cook, 25.8 points per game, 6.9 rebounds per game, and 4.6 assists per game. So, I mean, he's nearly averaging 5 assists a game. He's scoring 25 points himself, 7 rebounds. So, like I said, maybe you can agree to disagree. But if Perry McClure doesn't have Langston Cook, I don't think they are in the position where they are. I think that's why he's so needed, and that's why he's probably one of our Super 12s. That Perry McClure goes as Langston Cook goes. Kid is a talent.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, and I don't know if the interview we did yesterday, Gregory, has came out yet, but Langston Cook was apparently, one of the best player that another player we interviewed, the best player he's gone against this season, or even I guess in his high school career so far. So I think Langston Cook, and I've been kind of high on this kid since I saw him play last year against Nelson County. It's like, man, he didn't have a whole lot of talent around him last year, and what he was doing as a sophomore was huge. But I mean, even this year, I don't know how his numbers got better, but they did. So.
Yeah, so far we've had 2 Class 1 and 2 Class 4 players. So we're definitely starting out. So we're not just going to stick to Class 3, Class 4, or kind of shun away from Class 2, Class 1. So we're all over the place, like I said. So this is Central and Southwest Virginia. So Perry McClure, Langston Cook there, one of our number 4 Super 12 player. Another class 2. We're getting to Class 2 now. So this is Channing DeCibio. 22 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists per game. The junior guard, 6'1" there from Graham, who just won a state championship there at Graham. Congratulations to them. They beat Central Woodstock there just last weekend.
The dogs are barking. I wonder if that means Channing is if he's got that dog in him or something. But
right on cue.
This kid. I mean, Gregory pulled up his highlights last year when we covered him, and he was a scorer last year, but this year, obviously a high level scorer, but also leading that team to their first state championship since 1950 something or 60 something. I mean,
1956.
Yeah, what a year for Channing there. So I think it's definitely well deserved for this kid to be in the Super 12.
And what tickles me the best is that I was a Graham fan in football. We couldn't get it done, but I was a Graham fan in basketball. We finally got us a state championship.
Yep. I'll say this, Todd Baker, if you're listening, I've been trying to reach you, man. We're trying to get you on the podcast. So Todd Baker and Channing DeCibio. I talked to DeCibio's dad, so he's all for it. So I hope we can get Todd Baker on here at some point. But Channing DeCibio there at Graham.
Todd's on the buffet tour right now. That dude won a state championship. He ain't got time for us right now.
So I think this is what is our so let me check here. So Gavin's a senior, Cam's a senior, Cade's a senior, Langston Cook's a junior, and Channing DeCibio both juniors. So we get another year of Langston Cook and Channing DeCibio. So both juniors there. I mean, they're already averaging over 22 points, 22 and 25, I think, respectively. So just crazy to get them from another year too.
And I want to point out one thing before we go to the next guy. If I'm not mistaken, and we talked about this a little bit ago, thank gosh John Marshall has moved on and up to the next class. But if I'm not mistaken, this team last year actually gave them a bit of a run. I think it was like a 15 to 20 point game, but it wasn't a 40 to 60 point game like it had been. But I think they gave them a little bit of a scare up there, maybe 12. I don't know. I can't remember, but it was a bit of a tighter game than Marshall was used to.
Yeah. All right. Next one here, Mr. Bryce Giles of Nelson County, another junior here, forward, 6'2". Golly, I mean, this kid is a monster. Y'all both seen him in person. 19.7 points per game, 8.2 rebounds a game, and 4.3 assists. Kid can do it from outside and inside. I don't know. He does it all.
And he played quarterback for the first time in his life this year for the football team. So it's kind of crazy. But, I'm going to say this about Bryce, seeing him in person. He fools you. He can fool you because you look at him and his build and you go, he's an easy cover. He no way he can shoot outside. This guy's got game all around the court. He plays defense. And I think even better than all of that, you cannot get into this guy's head. He's just one of those kids that just focuses and hones on basketball. And he's never rattled. I mean, I've never seen this kid rattle.
Yeah, no, and you'll see they give him the ball. You saw it last year too. They give him the ball in late game situations and say, "Go make a shot for us, Bryce." And it's crazy that he's got that trust to be able to shoot from deep, but also he'll pound it down inside a little bit. I think that 6'2" is probably a little bit generous there. I mean, he's probably like a 6 foot just absolute bowling ball. And this is not a kid who I would want to get in his way. I mean, Bryce, he's one of those players too, where, he might take a play off or something like that. And then next thing you know, he just does the most miraculous thing you've ever seen. And it's like, I think he also has legitimate shot to be, you know, our player of the year there. But I think on this list, out of all these guys, I have to say, I think he might be the funnest player to watch.
Yep.
Oh, I got a comp here from Bob. What do you guys think? Elton Brand.
Elton Brand.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably perfect. Yeah. And
Old Dookie.
we'll have a they've got another kid on that team who was just a sophomore. We're probably gonna have to pay attention to next year, everybody.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and say his name was Jason Ross.
Jason Ross.
We gotta pay. Well, this kid can play, so we gotta give him some kudos now.
Watson building Nelson County back into a monster. So good to see there. So Bryce Strauss there at Nelson. All right, this one, Demarius Harris. All right, so sophomore, first sophomore we have on the list. This one's tough. It was like, did we go with young kid already? Did we give him his due? And we're going to, right? I mean, 18.9 points per game there. Again, I think what's kind of set him apart is that you already have Gavin averaging 20 points. You're not really going to see a kid average close to that. And he did. He got close to it. Almost 19 points per game there, 2.1 rebounds, 1.8 assists a game, 6-foot guards, just a sophomore. So we have 2 more years of this kid right here. And like I said, and being in Coach Best's offense, like having 2 guys averaging over 20 points a game is just, I think, is really good. So we're going to give him his due.
I don't think anybody's gonna feel sorry for DJ losing Gavin Arthurs, that's for sure. But they still got to look forward to this kid for 2 more years.
Yeah, and you know, just going back to that game, I was shocked, absolutely shocked when, you know, I didn't know who Demarius Harris was going into this year, and you know, you watch that game and he plays so much older than he is, like so much more mature than he actually is. I mean, I can't believe that kid is a sophomore because he plays like a senior. Just his leadership, the way he's talking to guys, you know, he's getting the crowd fired up. He is way ahead of his years right now, and I think these next 2 years is just going to be, he's going to be a force for DJ Best, and he's an extension, truly an extension of his head coach. I'll say that.
That's good praise too, especially with DJ Best. Yeah. The first sophomore on the list, we get 2 more years of this kid right here. So congratulations to him. They're at AC Glass. They're the first team to have 2 players on the Super 12. So we'll keep moving on here. Kobe Morrison, the senior from GW Danville, guard, 6'1", 22.7 points per game, 5 rebounds a game, and 3 assists per game there for his dad, DeMarcus. So I'll let Big G take this over talk about GW here.
Well, I just want to say this. You know, if anybody has shined through whatever Kobe has, I mean, let's just face it, guys. When he transferred to GW last year, all the weight in the world has been on this kid's shoulders. I mean, he is supposed to lead GW basketball back to the promised land and possibly a state championship. And, you know, my hat's off to him for handling the pressure is all I can tell you. And it's not like GW has played a cupcake schedule by no means. This kid's been, you know, played against the best of the best. Let's go back, you know, a year to playing against Northside with Coach Pope and that team that made a run to the third. They were on their way to their 3rd consecutive state championship, possibly. But Kobe, not only do you see these points, but he also, and I need to make mention of this, he is now the leading scorer, or has the most points, as DeMarcus told me, because they won't. For some reason, they will not look at him as the leading scorer in GW history. He has the most points scored at GW High School at 1,587 points, only because he transferred in after 2 years. So they don't recognize his points from Tunstall. But anyway, this kid, let me say something. If anybody's listening today, this kid deserves a look. He's a lefty combo guard, and he deserves a look. He deserves a scholarship somewhere on some level. He can play. In my book, he can play a mid-major. In my book, he can play a D2, and certainly he can play on the D3 level. So actually, I've done some talks, had some talks with some coaches, and I've looked on each level. So I mean, I think you're getting a steal with this guy if you have him on your team.
Yeah, I'll say. Go ahead, Evan.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, we saw GW last year, and he was one of our Super 12 players last year, if I'm not mistaken. But you see Zay Cobbs and Isaac Smith leaving, and you know he's going to take, you know, he's going to have to take a bigger role this year, even bigger than he had last year. And he totally stepped up into it, man. And for him, and not only his dad coaching there, but with Kobe, I think he deserves some praise as well. Taking that team from whatever they were in the middle of the season to 5-6 to rattling off however many wins in a row that they had. So I think he deserves a lot of praise, and we talked about it the other day too. Just like Big Greg was saying, Kobe needs offers. I don't know why nobody's on this kid right now, or nobody, we haven't heard about, a whole lot of people on him, but yeah, he should be playing somewhere, especially being the valedictorian of his class too, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, very smart kid.
And I'll just, hey, Greg, before you go, I'll just tell you, I've been in touch with Odell Hodge at ODU. I've been in touch with Jimmy, or tried to get in touch with Jimmy Allen at E&H. Tried to get in touch with our boy Mellinger, I believe it is, at Wise, and I have spoken to Caleb at Hampton-Sydney. So this kid needs to be somewhere playing ball.
Yeah. I was to add, I saw Kobe play against Salem there at Salem there in the region quarterfinals. Gosh, I mean, he was just calm and collected, man. He hit a shot there right before, I think it was halftime. Had like his back to the basket, turnaround jumper, and it was just smooth. He's not like I don't know. He's calculated when he's doing things. So I just like that when I play him. So yeah, Kobe Morrison there at GW. All right, Aiden Paget. So another junior here from Liberty Bedford. I couldn't finish his stats. I was actually talking to his mom. I do have the points per game right. Far as the rebounds, assists, we're working on that just because everything's happened with Liberty Bedford. I mean, they've had coaching changes. You've all heard it. So we're working on getting some of those stats too. But nonetheless, this kid, just a junior guard, 6'1", kick and play. I don't know I mean, Liberty's gotten better over the years, but when was the last time we saw Liberty kind of in this spotlight? And you can owe it a lot to this kid right here, having 22.6 points a game. So kick and play really got them involved in Class 2. Lost in, I think, the region quarters or region semifinals, I think. To Nelson County, I believe. So yeah, but Aiden Paget kick and play. Not a lot else I can say about that, but he's just a good player.
Well, what a way to stay in gear, after you lose your coach, towards the end of the season, and like you said, had to endure a coaching change, and that's tough that's especially young kids like this. I mean, that's really, really tough. And anyway, I expect to see him back on the Super 12 next year. Yeah,
I mean, they got to play against a lot of great talent there in the Seminole too. So I mean, if you're playing against Seminole teams, I'm not sure his individual stats teams like Glass and teams like that, but still he's averaging 22.6 a game, playing a difficult Seminole schedule. So he can play at any level. I mean, I know they're Class 2, but he's playing against Class 4, Class 3 teams as well. So he can get it done. He also has that dog in him. So Aiden Paget there at Liberty Bedford. Congratulations to him and just Liberty in general on the season. I know it was difficult, so all they went through. So congratulations to Liberty and Aiden Paget. Steele Torrance is our next player there at Hidden Valley at senior guard. I may have been a little generous too on Steele being 6 foot. Maybe he is. Maybe he's listening. He is at 6 foot, but 16.3 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 4.1 assists per game. Helped lead the Hidden Valley Titans to a state quarterfinal. Like I said, he played with some other great talent too, and still averaged 16.3 points a game. First team All-State. A lot of these other kids are going to be first team All-State too, so you'll see some. I think everyone we covered might have been first team or second team All-State. And some of the kids we didn't have on this list are also first team, second team All-State as well. So, but Steele Torrance, guard there for Hidden Valley for the Titans, helped Hutchins, reach the state tournament. We also talked to him. If you saw a previous interview, they increased their win total every year. So he's a senior there, so he's seen his win total go up every year and get better and better. So I think they owe a lot to for Steele, and there's some of those other players too.
Thing that impressed me about him and his teammates and his coach, they all knew that they were basically at a height disadvantage in any game, in every game that they went into. What was it, Western Albemarle that beat them in the state or whatever? And they knew they didn't make no bones about it. They were going to be 2 to 3 inches shorter in height than every player on the floor. Yet these kids, they had no fear. I mean, that's the whole thing I loved about listening to them in their interview was they had no fear of anybody else. They were going to go out and play their game and let the cards fall where they may.
Yeah, and he's another River Ridge kid, so playing a really tough conference, still averaging 16.3 games. And they've even mentioned, I think Coach Hutchins mentioned in our interview that they lost their big for I forgot how many games, and this kid is still just a guard, getting 5 rebounds a game. So I think that was huge for them. So I think it really stood out for Steele and for Hidden Valley. So I don't know. I mean, some of these kids are getting offers. I hope I can get that updated. And well, since I don't know his offer list or the other kids' offer list there who are seniors, but we'll get that together and send it out too. All right, Mr. Sean Turner at Cave Spring, another senior, forward, 6'3", 21.2 points per game, just about 4.5 rebounds and 4.1 assists per game there for for Coach Gruce. Got to see him in person and play, and the kid he kind of takes over. He gets the ball in his hands. He has the green light to go get a bucket too. So he plays in a great system there. Coach Gruce has a great system there for offense, but he still allows him to do what he wants to in the court, and just a great talent overall. And just committed to Fairham, I believe. I think just yesterday, maybe, or Friday. What? No, today's Saturday. So it was Friday. So I think he just committed to Fairham as well. So congratulations on committing to Fairham.
Well, they're getting a steal there, and Gruce still looks 10 pounds heavier on camera than he does in person. So anyway, no, they didn't have exactly the year that they wanted to, but Sean Turner stood out, that's for sure. And I think he'll be a big time player at Fairham.
Oh yeah.
Sean Turner Jr., Cave Spring. So yeah, another guy who plays on River Ridge. So I don't know how many guys is now that we have in River Ridge. So I gotta check that. So we have might have been 4. I think it's 4 so far we have in the River Ridge. I mean, just a great overall conference in general. I mean, you had 4 or 5 teams make it to the region tournament. So just a great district for talent, and then all these kids are putting up numbers too. So I feel like that really stood out to me as far as the River Ridge goes. But yeah, Sean Turner there at Cave Spring. All right, Colton Ward, another Nelson County product. Averages a double-double every game. Devin, you've seen him in person. Big G seen him in person. Almost 18 points per game. Nearly 13 rebounds a game. Senior forward, 6'8". Committed to Roanoke College. So another one that Clay Nunley is getting. That will be a good sight to see for him in Campbell's next year there in Salem.
The thing about this that stands out to me is, does anybody remember where he was last year on our Super 12?
He was Player of the Year.
Player of the year. I mean, that goes to show you the talent that we have on this thing. For him to average a double-double again this year, and he's not the Player of the Year, that's tough. But let me tell you something. You said it best, Gary. Clay is getting a steal right here. And I said it earlier this year, and I'll say it again. If Colton Ward develops a 15 to 18-foot jumper right there at the elbow, you're not gonna be able to stop this kid. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's possible he can move up a couple levels. Who knows? We'll see in the future. But his motor never stops. This kid fights for every rebound that's there. So he never stops. So congratulations to him again this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I know there's a lot of talent in the area and a lot of good bigs. We talked about Overbay, obviously his own teammate Bryce Giles. I think Colton Ward and of course K Wood down at PH, but I think Colton Ward is the best big man in Southwest Virginia. I mean, I don't think that's I think they're getting quite a steal with him coming over to Roanoke next year. But yeah, I think he's one of the best players in Southwest Virginia, but by far the best big in Southwest Virginia. And like Big G was saying, he's got just a heck of a motor. He you might look at him and think he's kind of a gangly kid. He definitely put on some muscle this year, I'll say that. But he attacks every rebound. I mean, I think the game I saw him when he played at Dan River, he might have went like 25 and 10 or something like that. And just an absolute monster on the boards, man.
Yeah, so another one for Coach Watson there, senior that we're going to Roanoke College. We look forward to covering him next year there in the ODAC. I think he'll get some PT very quickly. I mean, how can you hide 6'8" on the bench, right? So congratulations, Colton Ward there for being on our list twice this year. So, all right, I think the last one here. This is after our Player of the Year. So there's one player. I mean, there's multiple kids we haven't put on the list yet. But there's one kid that really stood out this year. He put up like 50 points in the state championship game in a loss. It's Mr. Owen Jackson. We just talked to him yesterday. A sophomore. I mean, this is crazy to have a sophomore as our player of the year, but I think he's very deserving. I mean, you can see by his points per game there, 33.6 points per game, 8.2 rebounds, 2.9 assists per game, 6'5" there, sophomore. And I do want to read off something real quick. We talked to him yesterday, and I asked him about this question. Here, I'm going to give you some names, right? Gate City's Mac McClung, Bethel's Allen Iverson, and Fort Chiswell's Owen Jackson. 1, 2, and 3 in most points scored in a season. He was at 946. He was 2 off from Allen Iverson from being number 2. Allen Iverson scored 948 points in one season. He scored 946. And he's just a sophomore.
And doesn't he have Tyler's point goal in sight, basically?
I'm
I think
sure.
so.
I'm sure he's on pace to. I mean, you just think about and look. You look at his stats: 33-6, which is absolutely insane. But also 8 rebounds a game and almost 3 assists per game. But he's not just a scorer. But when you have that type of talent, and you know you put him in the same category as Allen Iverson, Mac McClung. I mean, I would say Caleb Tanner is another guy. Obviously, Tyler Nickel. He seems like he's going to be the next big thing to come out of Southwest Virginia. And you know, are we able to say that we interviewed him, Gregory? I mean,
yeah,
I guess,
we interviewed him yesterday. I had that interview out Monday or Tuesday. So then, yeah, we definitely talk about that.
But yeah, I mean, interview him yesterday, and I don't think the kid understands, you know, just how good he actually is. I mean, it's hard to pry like any bit of overconfidence out of this kid. He's just a quiet, confident, humble player. So I don't think there's a more deserving player on this list for player of the year based on what he did, especially, you know, at Fort Chiswell, where, you know, it wasn't a team that we really covered much all season. And then just what they did at the end of the season. Obviously they stomped Glade Spring, you know, in the state, semis, I guess it was. And then, you know, probably the best state championship that could have happened at you know, at Richmond against Luray. I just think that kid with every, you know, performance that he had this year, I think that he was most deserving of player of the year.
And I mean, the thing that gets that, you know, for those who are kind of like myself, you know, you look at statistics like this, you know, especially 33.6 a game, you go, kid probably shoots every time down court. Kid probably does it. Probably just throws stuff up, you know, and hope it comes down. And, you know, guy plays in a system. The guy, of course, he's the integral part of the offense. Of course he is. I mean, look at the points. And I like for everybody to think about this. How many minutes a quarter is there? There's only 8-minute quarters. There's 32 minutes a game. This kid is averaging over a point a minute. I'm sorry. I mean, this is crazy. And like I said, he's got Tyler Nickel in his sights. So, but I look forward to seeing this kid play for the next 2 years, especially. And
we just talked to him yesterday, like when we were interviewing him, like Devin said, he's just so humble. And like, it's like we try to pry, hey man, when you step into the gym, like, do people like go crazy for you? And he's like, well, I don't really notice it. And we're like, hey man, you're with Allen Iverson and Matt McClung. How do you feel about that? He doesn't really care. He's just like, I'm just going to go out and play. I just want to play. That's all he wants to do. Like, his kid is very humble. He's a hard worker. I mean, they talk about him practicing all the time. He gave props to his dad for helping him out and getting there. I mean, kid was just a great kid. So Fort Chiswell, I mean, to have him for another 2 years is just going to be awesome for them. And it's a great problem to have, right, for Coach Jackson. I mean, you have 4 of the players on the court, but you have one who can just go get a bucket. So he definitely works around that. So that's pretty good.
I'll tell you who he is. I got his name already. Jimmy Chitwood. Anybody remember Jimmy? He's Mr. Hoosier. I mean, anybody remembers that movie at the end? Would he try to set up a play for somebody else? And Jimmy said, "What? I'll make it, coach. I'll make it, coach. I'll make it." So that's Jimmy Chitwood right there.
Yeah, but Owen Jackson, player of the year for District 2 sports. I mean, very deserving. I mean, there's other kids like we talked about on the list and who were on our list who've been, player of the year too, like in certain areas. But I just felt like 33.6 points a game as a sophomore, leading your team to the state championship game, losing by 2 in double overtime. I think he's well worth player of the year for us. Yeah, and then shout out to those kids who didn't make Super 12 or weren't player of the year. Like, I mean, we had so much great talent to choose from. Like, and we wanted to make sure we chose Central Virginia, whether it was Danville, Lynchburg, Western Virginia, Roanoke, and Southwest Virginia. There, like Patrick Henry, Glade Spring, and all the schools, Bluefield down there too. So we wanted to make sure it was a mix of players, and we wanted to go from Class 1 to Class 4 too, for mostly all those kids too. So I felt like we hit on everything we wanted to hit on as far as that goes.
Yep.
I did want to. So we did have some coach. So we each got a coach here. Let me pull them up here. I guess I got to share the first coach of the year. We talked about this too. We're very deserving. I mean, the guy won a state championship, right? We got to have him as a coach of the year. So can't get him on the podcast. Hopefully he's gonna get done with that tour here soon. I got to make sure I get the right one on here.
Todd, jump on the podcast now. Todd, jump on the podcast.
If he's listening, he's going here. Coach of the year, this is from Graham Sports Network. Coach Todd Baker, Graham High School there. Coach of the year in the Southwest District. Coach of the year by Class 2 as well. State champion. So what can you say? I mean, he has Kenny DeCivio. He has a bunch of other kids on the team too. He has to manage and like I said before, he could be a back-to-back state champion. I mean, right? I mean,
yep.
So there's multiple years he could have won it. He brought one back to Graham. I think I forgot how many years. 50 years or something like that? 60 years?
Yeah, 1956, first state championship.
1956. I mean, it's just crazy.
And they were 23-4, 11-1 in conference, and he put them at number 35 in the state. So I mean, what a year! What a year!
Yeah. So
Todd, we're live. We're live, Todd. Get on now.
So we have two more. So Coach Todd Baker, is one of them here. I'm gonna get the next one on stage here in a second. I mean, this is obviously we had to have one on here. We talked to him several times last year and this year. Devin's talked to him after a game as well. To go undefeated in the regular season, to be the last undefeated team in the state, is something as well. So we're gonna make sure we share this. This is Coach DJ Best. What can we say, man? This guy, he's always after it on offense and defense. Has 2 players on our Super 12 list. Just a heck of a coach, heck of a guy too. Very respected around the state. Also coach of the year there for the BCAF. So the Coaches Association of Virginia. So what can we say?
I mean, last undefeated team in Virginia, 14-0 in that conference. That's crazy to me. And number 31 in Virginia.
Yeah. 2 losses this year were to John Hanley, who won the state championship, and then Heritage, who a team they beat early in the season, who made it to the state semifinals. There's been nothing bad to say about that. So Coach DJ Best, one of our coaches of the year, there for the District 2. So this last one here, our last coach here, and you can, I mean, he could just be the coach of the year by himself. I mean, of course, he had Todd Baker win the state championship, but the job he did this year was just unbelievable, I believe. Let me pull him up. And this is a guy that Coach Pops here really wanted on here. So we'll share this too. It's him celebrating with his guys in the locker room. This is Coach Matthew Klein from Gerard Thomas there. He had an interesting stat here. I wanted to pull the reason why I wanted this. I want to see region championship as a 6 seed, beating 1, 2, and 3 seeds in the region. Shout out to Mr. Thomas there for that information. But I mean, the job he did, we talked about him. We talked to him at the beginning of the season. We said, this schedule you're playing at the beginning of the season, like this is treacherous, right? But he said it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna help them get into the postseason, and it did. They led them to a state semifinal.
Devin got a chance to see them play, and if I'm not mistaken, Dev, they had like a 15, 16-point lead at home against Glass and let it get away. And you sit there and you look at that, and we talked to them at the beginning of the year. These guys were an even 6-6 after 12 games. To see them get to 21-8, who would ever thought? I mean, we were actually sitting here during the week on our podcast going, God, these guys are 10-7. How can they be in our Super 12? I mean, how can we? They deserved it. And I said to y'all when the state or the regional playoffs, I believe, started, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they had a play-in game as a 6 seed, 8 seed, whatever they were. And I said that was an absolute smack in these guys' face, and they do make it to the state tournament. So congratulations to him. He goes 15-2 in the last 17 games to finish at 21-8, 11-3 in that conference, which is a heck of a conference, and number 60 in Virginia.
Yeah. And I think too, I mean, kind of going off of it, they were like Big G was saying, 6-6 at one point in the season. And it's so obviously at that point, we all knew what their strength of schedule was. We knew who they were going against. But I feel like when you're dealing with high school kids, and obviously you have guys with talent like Trey Smith and Jay Bryant, but when you have high school kids, it's so easy for those kids to lose confidence. But to rattle off the wins they did, especially at the end of the season, beating Turner Ashby, beating Wilson Memorial, and Western Albemarle. I mean, those 3 wins, along with beating Christiansburg in the I guess it was a region final, or was that state semi? No, it was region final, right? So I mean, just the end of the season is really what I think put it over the top, on my end for sure. I just think that Coach Klein is a great guy. He's well deserving, and for him not to lose that locker room after a tumultuous start to the season, I think is it definitely speaks volumes to what he can do as a coach. That's for sure.
Yeah, and he had a great team, right? He had Jay Bryant, like we mentioned, who's very deserving of being could be a Super 12 player. Like you had Trey Smith, who was second team All State as well. Tomlin there at the guard. You had Davis, Colton. I mean, so many great players on that team, and like I said, they just got down the line. They played that schedule and just got so much better. And I got to owe it to him making it to a state semifinal, especially at that beginning of the year. So, Coach Klein, great guy. We had him on the podcast. He's very deserving of one of our coaches of the year as well. I did want to add, might have been make an edit here to Langston Cook. Got some information just sent to me that he actually averaged 27.8 points per game.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
That's from
look out,
Daddy Oak. So if he's listening or they're listening, we'll make sure we correct that. So yeah, I mean, if there's any other stats, like obviously Aiden, we couldn't finish them up, but any stats that we got wrong, if there's something you see, or whatever, send it to us, DM us, let us know. We'll make this correction. But yeah, that's our Super 12 and Coaches of the Year for District 2 sports for boys basketball this year. Very difficult process. Like I said, we had a bunch of kids we could have had on here, but we want to make sure we got spread it out a little bit. So, like I said, you can probably come up with 12 more off the list that we didn't have on here that could be just as good as this one. So we're not saying anything's wrong. Very difficult process, but like I said, I'll be working on getting. I don't know. We'll see how big the list will get, but at least 50 players that I can probably just mostly seniors I can send over to these coaches and get their name out a little bit too. So shout out to everyone who's reached out to us, and I just helped us all year too. Like I said, was it Tyler Talking Sports, Mountain Mojo, Fresh on the Block, 6 Man, Denver Sports for all their coverage too. Help us out.
Yeah,
anything else,
everybody? Well, one last thing that I'll mention before we jump off here, because I'm headed to the big city of Christiansburg. Gregory says I can't stay very long, so I've got to drop off a package and then head down the road to the Kreger Center. We are getting ready to attend the women's D3 National Championship game today. I'm looking forward to it. I was there last year, and I think we need to go ahead and make mention that we have a new leader in the clubhouse, and that would be, oh my goodness, Scranton University.
And Denison,
yeah, and Denison. The Scranton pulled the big upset the other night. In my book, they were undefeated, but Gregory went back and looked at the stats. They've been beating the tar out of people all year, and they beat NYU, New York University, ended New York University's 91-game winning streak, and knocked them out of the Final Four, and they will be playing Denison today for the national championship. So we'll be front row at the Kreger Center. It's going to be a good atmosphere. I'm looking forward to seeing these girls play today. They can really play. It'll be on ESPN, by the way. So 4:00.
Yeah. Big season, big year for basketball. Like I said, if there's anything we missed or anything we need to change, send us those in our DM. So people have been very good about that. So we'll try to get these kids out. We're gonna do our best to get them all. We talked a lot of D2. We mostly do D2, D3. So we'll do our best to kind of send them out. I mean, much as we can do. So we want to help as much as we can do. So anything else, guys?
I did email Odell Hodge. Hodge, you got to look at your email. Kobe Morrison needs to come down to ODU and play. Okay, there we go.
And we have I think Monday or Tuesday we'll have our interview with Fort Chiswell. We also have another one with Roanoke College. We'll have Jackson Bell time, as we say,
No time.
and Gavin O'Malley. So we'll have both of them, and then working on another one, a football related one. I think it would be huge for the Southwest Virginia that we might want to hear from. So we'll get those
Hey,
out there.
Is O'Malley a junior?
I believe so. Maybe they're
So
both juniors.
he's got another year, right?
Well, O'Malley, I'm not sure. I know Jackson Bell's a junior. I have to check that.
I mean, what a big. I mean, I keep thinking when you mention his name,
Yeah.
I mean, that kid had one of the biggest turnarounds in a year that I can remember. I mean, it's just crazy. O'Malley can play. He can.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
is
Roanoke
only-
College. He's a
Oh, yeah.
junior.
Mhm.
Yeah, they won their first round game. Had a close one there. Jackson Bell had a huge shot there to kind of put them over the top, and then they gave Emory all they can give him. Emory only, I think, beat them by like what, less than.
I think it was 2.
six.
Was it overtime?
Two.
Or one of the games was overtime.
It was like 4. I can't remember how much it was, but it was a really close game there against Emory there in the second round. So, and shout out to Virginia, Mary Washington, moving on to this national semifinals.
Man.
We had them on the podcast last year. Also, Christopher Newport was. I don't know if they played yet or not. Maybe they played today or played last night. But Christopher Newport was also in the quarters, their Elite 8 for D3 too. So 2 Virginia teams that are competing to be.
And if I'm not mistaken, they played that championship on April the 5th, before the women's national championship game. I think that's how they did it. Yeah. I don't think they played them this weekend. I think they moved it to like that weekend.
Gotcha.
Y'all might want to verify my facts, but I thought I looked at that.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something to see Christopher Newport and Mary Washington in the national championship? I mean, 2 Virginia schools. I think Virginia is just such an underrated state when it comes to basketball in general, but especially D3 basketball. You think about Randolph Macon, Hampton Sydney last year, but I mean, Mary Washington, Christopher Newport. We haven't spoken with anybody at Christopher Newport, right?
No, trying to. I think it's Krikorian, so we'll try to get him on there. And we talked to Macedo there at Wesleyan. They've had a couple of years. So, I mean, yeah, D3 is well represented there in the state of Virginia. So.
Don't forget Southern Virginia. They've been into the playoffs here the last couple of years too. So, of course, they're playing with 22 and 23-year-old kids, but that's okay. Hey, what helps wins,
Gotcha. All right.
He didn't make no bones about that, did he? He said, "Hey, I'm gonna put experience on the floor."
Yep. Yeah, fun year. We'll put these out on Instagram and tag all the kids and stuff like that. So all the athletes and everything. So it's been a fun year. So we will continue.
What do we do next? Are we following baseball?
We're getting to some baseball action.
We'll have to find out who's out there this year. I fell off the wagon last year with baseball, so I'll have to dig into it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure Auburn will be in the mix too. We talked to them last year, winning state championship, so let's follow them around too.
I guess we'll have to have a sign-off show here in a couple of weeks for Devin to make sure
Oh yeah.
I hope he'll pick it back up when he moves, but
So I guess we need a third chair. So we're gonna need someone to get some resumes in. We want to see that guy.
It's not, I'll see LCA and Heritage on the football schedule coming up, and usually I can just drive right down the road. It's gonna be so weird not having that. I'm gonna have to go see
Montverde.
I don't even know. Yeah, I guess I'll be watching
IMG.
Yeah.
What was that team that played that fall schedule that year? Devin probably go check them out. They'll probably be down in Florida this year.
Yeah.
Sycamore. Yeah, I had to check it out.
All right, guys. We'll sign off. Thank you guys for watching.
See you in Salem.